What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mr. Almighty Lewis back at you with another video. Oh yeah. And today we're going to be talking about how to develop priorities within your relationships. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, because you need to subscribe to the Almighty Lewis, because the Almighty Lewis got you covered as far as like introversion content goes and personal development content goes. I got it. I got both. All right, so you need to subscribe and hit the notification icon, and make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you comment down below. Comment anything you want. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So, developing priorities within your relationship. So, here's the thing. You're always gonna have a couple of people in your life, right? There's gonna be like your small circle, as we spoke in the previous video, and then you're gonna have people like, you know, your boss, maybe your co-workers, and maybe a few acquaintances here and there that you know, right? Because, you know, introverts are very you know, we're geniuses, and for the most part, you know, sometimes we just develop relationships and acquaintances, and people just know us, you know, accidentally, because maybe we did something that made us stand out. Because, you know, introverts, you know, like I said, we operate in silence, and, you know, we get stuff done, you know, behind the scenes, and so, you know, people know about us even though we kind of don't want to. We're not intentionally, you know, putting ourselves out there. We're just, you know, performing our job. You know, we're doing what we love, and, you know, this is just pretty much a byproduct, you know, that, you know, people start to know us, you know, because of the value that we're able to put out and everything, right? So because of that, you start to develop all these they're not really full developed relationships, but, you know, to some degree, you know, these people. So if you ever want to tap into their resources, you can pretty much do so, because they know you, they know who you are, they know the value that you provide, they know that you're not just some random stranger, you know, that's just asking them for something, right? So you have those people, right? And then you have like the closest, more closer people, like I said, and then you have your small circle, right? So here's the thing. A lot of introverts and a lot of people just in general, maybe you have, I mean, not to say that you haven't, but just a lot of people in general don't have a specific clarity as far as, like, you know, priorities go within their relationships. So they don't know exactly, you know, who comes first. So here's the example that I always like to put for myself, and I always like to give, you know, other people. Let's just say everybody you know right now had an emergency. Everybody, you know, we're talking about like everybody, you know, everybody, you know, your acquaintances, your small circle, your co-workers, your classmates, everybody right now has an emergency. Who are you going to help first? Who are you going to help first? You know, and most people can probably not answer this question, because they're like, oh my God, they start to panic. They're like, well, I would like to help everybody, you know, if I had like some sort of like superpower, right? And they just kind of get stuck in that sort of scenario, and they pretty much never answer this question very honestly. But the thing is, you need to answer this question very honestly. What if everybody that you know had an emergency at this point? Who would have priority? Who would you go to first? You know, who would you try to save first? Well, it comes down to priorities as far as your relationships go. And, you know, it looks like not a lot of people have developed these. And because of that, you know, they start to damage certain relationships left and right, because, you know, you just don't have the right priorities. And so then you start to this happens, you know, sometimes when three people need you and you just select one, but you're struggling, you know, to see which one you're going to help first, and then you go and you help this one, and then the other two get mad at you, and then you feel bad, and then, you know, these people are guilt tripping you, and then you feel very guilt tripped, and then you're like, what do I do, you know, like what happened? That's because you didn't have your priority established. You don't know exactly who deserves a priority and who doesn't. You know, like, you have to develop this, because it's very important, because if you don't, then you'll be dabbling. You won't exactly be able to manage your relationships properly. And because of that, you know, people will feel it. The people, you know, the people that you're with, you know, they'll feel the priority that they have. They'll know what the priority is. You know, like, you may be watching this video, and who knows? I mean, I may not be a priority to you. You're watching this video, and who knows? You know, maybe I send you a text, I send you a call. If somebody else right now is taking your attention, you know, somebody who has a higher priority level as far as their relationships go, you're probably not answering. You're probably not answering me because, you know, this other person needs you. someone else who's higher in the relationship priority level than I am. And so I understand that. I start to see that. I start to feel that because I'm getting a response. I'm like, look, I'm texting you, I'm calling you, you're not responding, you're taking 2 days to respond. That means that as far as I go, I'm very low, as far as like the priority, the priority in your relationships go. I'm very low because you take a very long time. There's a very long gap between your response and my delivery and your response. And so here's the thing. That's fine, if that's what you want. If that's intentionally what you want, if that's the message that you're trying to send out there, like, hey, you know what, you're not necessarily a priority to me, I'll answer you, but I'll only answer you if everybody here at the top, whoever has priority doesn't really need me. So everybody who's above you, if none of those people actually need me, none of those people are actually messaging me, none of those people are calling me, and you're the one who's actually messaging me and calling me at the time, then I'll give you the attention. But if somebody else up here already starts to like text and message, then this person's getting automatic, priority, and you're getting put to the side. You're getting delayed. You're getting put into the what do you call it? It's like that like the waiting list. Like the something right there. Where you have to kind of wait. You're put on pause there. And so yeah, so this happens all the time with people. And I think not a lot of people understand that this is what's going on, but you have to purposefully develop this, because some people don't necessarily develop this. You may be watching this probably makes sense. You probably do it every single day, but you don't realize that you're doing this every single day. You don't realize that you have people at the top and you have people at the bottom. So you have to actually think about it, pause for a second, and actually think about, who deserves to be at the top and who deserves to be at the bottom, and why. Why do they deserve to be at the top and why others deserve to be on the bottom? I mean, they're all human beings at the end of the day. You know them all. They're all somewhat connected to you because you know them. They know you. So you have to decide this. And once you decide this, obviously, you have to behave accordingly. So obviously, the people who are at your highest priority, which most likely it's going to be your small circle. If you're an introvert, this is pretty much a given. Your small circle is going to have the priority 100% of the time, and then everyone else will come, below that. So you have your small circle, and then you probably have like your coworkers and your boss, or maybe your classmates, or maybe like acquaintances that you have here and there at work. Those are probably last. The acquaintances are probably last. Then the people you work with and the people you interact with during the day and stuff like that. Maybe you're working on a project. Your business partners, whatever. Your employees if you're a boss. Maybe they're like they're like in the middle, and of course maybe at the top you have your small circle. You have people like your family maybe, or your very closest friends, or your romantic relationship, or your marriage or stuff like that, right? Those are the people at the top. So the people at the top, if they ever need your help, you're gonna go and help them first, and probably the other people they're gonna take the next priorities. So you have to have these clear, and you have to know who they are, and then you have to behave accordingly. Don't give people like the people at the bottom, don't give them signs that they're up here if they're not really up there, because that's really where it goes very wrong. Us as introverts, we don't do that. Us as introverts, we're very honest as far as where you stand. We pretty much give you the right signs. If you're up there or you're not up there. So, but a lot of people, especially, I hate to say it, but especially women, they give false signals as far as like who's at the top of the priority relationships and who's at the core bottom. And so you have to know, which one is which, because if you start giving the person right here at the bottom signals that they're priority, well, then they're going to think that, they're a priority in your life. And so most likely they're going to put you as a priority in their life. And so anytime you need help, they'll be there, right away. But when the time comes, when they need help and you're not there, you're going to break them. You're going to break them because they're going to think that, hey, you know what? I thought this person, I thought I was in their, priority list as far as their relationships go, but that doesn't seem to be the case because I needed some help and that person just didn't answer or just wasn't able to make it or just told me that they didn't have any time or anything like that. These are just pretty much excuses. Let's be honest here. When somebody says I'm busy, when somebody says I don't have time, when somebody says I have something else to do, that's not true. That's not true. If you text somebody and that's the response you get, that means that you, my friend, are at the lower priority, meaning that whatever it is that maybe they are busy, maybe they do have something to do, and that one specific thing that they have to do, or that person they have to meet up with, which is most likely the case, has a higher priority than you do. And so because of that, you are done. You're done. So now, can you move up? Of course, these priority level things are always changing. So yes, right now you may have established, maybe you've been watching this video right now and you're thinking about it. You're like, okay, you know what? I think I'm going to put this person in first place, this person in second place, this person right here, right? Or maybe you already have people certain right there, right? These people can, change, and this is like one of those counters, when they're racing, like a race. They're constantly changing, like NASCAR. Somebody else takes first place, then this other person takes first place, then this and that and so forth. And somebody from 10th place can come and be all the way to first place. If they make the right moves and stuff like that. And so how that works, it's up to you. You can move people up and down depending on, their behavior and how they're behaving with you, because, maybe this person actually decides to put you in their top priority. And so now that you know that you're at the top of their priority, who knows, maybe you might want to concede and probably do the same thing, in return and put them at the top, or maybe, elevate them somewhat of a level, so, they're not top priority, but, maybe they're middle priority, and so on and so forth. And so yeah. You have to develop your priorities and know exactly which they are. You as an introvert especially, this is very important. That way you know exactly who you need to be there for, who deserves the majority of your time as well, because most likely the people at the top, those are the relationships you value the most. And so those are the ones you want to keep for a very long time. So those are the ones that you want to give and devote your most time and energy to. The ones here at the bottom, you probably don't want to be spending too much time with them, maybe like a few minutes here and there, but that's pretty much it, because they're at the bottom. They don't deserve the priority. They don't deserve to, take up an hour, 2 hours of your day, because that's reserved. That's reserved for the people at the top of the list. If people want to be at the top, let them work for it. You as an introvert, let them work for it. Let people work to get to the top. And so don't just put people at the top just over there just because you like them, just because they make you feel good or something like that, right? No, like have a specific reason as to why they're up there. And most likely, the reason that they're up there is because, yes, maybe you connect with them, they get along with you, but they also share the same values as you do, and they provide you with some sort of unique value that you love and you appreciate. And because of that, you want to put them at the top of the priority. And so, maybe you trust these people as well, and you're very vulnerable to them as well, which is most likely going to be the case. And so that's that. So you as an introvert, remember you have to develop these priorities. Or if you're an extrovert and you're watching this video too, remember to develop those priorities, because they're extremely important that you know exactly who they are. You got to know who these people are. That way you're not confused when the time comes when all of them have an emergency. You know exactly who you're going to go help first, which is going to be the people at the top. Whoever is at the top, those are the people who are going to get the priority. And don't feel guilty who you put at the top too. Maybe you put your family all the way at the bottom, and that's really up to you. There's no judgment as far as like who you put at the top, who you put at the bottom, because it's your life. It's the way you feel. Like I said, part of it involves feeling, and like I said, as an introvert, probably you have your small circle at the top. So like I said in the previous video, part of developing your small circle is being able to really feel comfortable with the people up there. So maybe, yeah, your family is your family, but maybe you just don't feel comfortable with them. You're just not able to connect with them, and because of that, you just cannot include them in your small circle at the top, so they just have to go down, and that's perfectly okay. You get to decide that. That's up to you, but make sure that you do have this priority list as far as who has priority within your relationships. That way you're able to manage them properly, and you're able to devote the right amount of energy, resources, and time to these people. So yeah. All right, so that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you comment if there's a specific thing that you want me to, talk about, or you just want to comment as far as this video goes. Maybe you want to add something. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.